The latest horror movie of 2024, Fatal Tarot, is here. A sinister presence is hidden within an eerie set of tarot cards, cursing anyone who uses them for divination. Those cursed face their fate one by one, ultimately racing against death. Without further ado, let's begin the main story. A group of young men and women rent a villa in the countryside and happily start a party. With the beer running out and no nearby stores, they begin to search the house. A door marked "No Entry" catches their attention, and they break it open, entering a basement filled with various divination tools. Parker finds a box of tarot cards with rather creepy designs.
Never seen cards like this before. You're definitely old.
Bored and looking for something to do, they decide to take turns reading their fortunes. Haley, who knows a bit about tarot, acts as the fortune teller, while Alice, who is celebrating her birthday today, decides to go first. 12 cards are laid out in a circle, representing the 12 zodiac signs, with the most important 13th card placed in the center. As a Libra, Alice draws the High Priestess card, hinting that she will soon climb the ladder of destiny. Madeline drew the Hangman, indicating that she might soon face adversity. Peggy drew the Magician, suggesting she might encounter a dilemma. Parker drew the Fool card, warning him to be cautious in enclosed spaces. Grant drew the Empress card, which hinted that he might come into some money and have a romantic encounter. Haley's ex-boyfriend drew the Devil card, representing a risk of losing someone important. Finally, Haley read her own fortune and drew the Death card, possibly symbolizing the end of her ill-fated romance. That night, the tarot cards in the corner suddenly emitted an eerie red glow, as if something dreadful was about to happen. The next day, the 7 of them drove home together. At a gas station, Grant excitedly told everyone that he had won $700 on a scratch-off lottery ticket. None of them remembered that Haley's fortune reading had mentioned Grant might come into some money. Alice took a shower and, upon coming out, noticed that the attic ladder had mysteriously dropped down. She pushed it back up and closed the attic door. Later, she was in her bedroom chatting on the phone with her friend when suddenly the door was forcefully pushed open, followed by the sound of footsteps. Alarmed, she hurried out to investigate and found the attic ladder had fallen again. Thinking it was her roommates playing a prank, she climbed up the ladder and used her phone's light to look around. Something seemed to be moving in the darkness, and then the lights downstairs abruptly went out. When she looked back into the attic, the scene had changed, and the High Priestess card suddenly appeared. She picked up the card to examine it. Alice's phone rang. Nearby it was her friend calling her. Just as she reached for it to ask for help, an invisible force dragged her back. The High Priestess then grabbed the ladder and violently struck Alice repeatedly until she died. The police later ruled her death as an accident, and her friends gathered to mourn Alice's tragic demise. After dropping off the girl he liked, Grant arrived at the subway station where the lights mysteriously flickered. Ahead, he saw a figure wearing a black hood. As the darkness approached, Grant turned and ran. He reached the subway parking area, which was empty, and stepped on a newspaper. Terrified, he ran onto a train and observed the situation outside. Hearing a noise from the front, he slowly backed away. Another friend met with a tragic accident, leaving the group both saddened and frightened. Haley suddenly realized that the fates of her two friends matched their tarot readings. Parker, feeling scared, decided to seek help online. They found an expert named Alma, but his contact number was unreachable. Haley made a quick decision to drive to Alma's place. 3 hours later, they finally arrived. Alma's attitude was very cold, but after Haley's desperate pleading, he opened the door. After hearing the whole story, Alma revealed that similar incidents had occurred worldwide. Groups using tarot cards to predict their fortunes and then dying in a series of accidents. Alma was the sole survivor of the London incident, possibly because he never had his own fortune read. Through years of investigation, he discovered the story behind the tarot cards, tracing back to Hungary in 1798, where a count and his wife awaited the birth of their first son.